I'm gonna work on a little bit of a project. I hope you guys enjoy. Alright, it's been 2 years. It's time that I shall confess. Now, you've been wondering, who is pojr? Well, I'm not going to answer that. I'm going to continue going on about who you guys thought I was. I'm sure you guys guessed that I'm some weird genius who, I don't know. That's what you guys said. And perhaps you may have thought that he was some kind of robot that, quote-unquote, finds exploits in HTML. And, well, I'm just gonna cut to the chase. It's me. This is pojr. This is who you're looking at right here, pojr. Dead serious. Now, I will just say that that's not what I'm here for. Although, that is quite a good crack in the case since I've been keeping it secret for, I don't know, 2 years. But hey, I'm here for something else. And I'm sure that was very satisfying to hear that, and I'm sure if I were you guys trying to figure out who blah 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 is, and found out finally, that'd be pretty awesome. But I'm here to tell the difference between Legion of Legato and the Wootability website. Now, Legion of Legato is kind of like a Sega Genesis, while Wootability is more like a Super Nintendo. You see, that's not quite a bad thing. I will say now that the Super Nintendo is far more superior than the Sega Genesis. But that's not saying much, because the Sega had Sonic the Hedgehog. You see where I'm getting at? Despite that it was a better system, it doesn't mean that it had better games. Roll the clip.
Legion of Legato. This is what you're looking at. It's owned by a guy which calls himself Legato and Vash. The site itself isn't very appealing, but everything else is.
Is the place good? Heck yeah. I mean, there's a lot of things that other users didn't like about it, such as perhaps the amount of spam, but I've noticed that I don't know, they've took a step past that. I mean, I don't mean decreasing the spam, I mean adapting to the spam that was already there. So therefore, it continued, but there was no more complaining. However, there was other things that was going on, and I'll be getting to that later. But alone, the site was running pretty much well. I mean, eventually, it started to die a little, but it never really crashed. It never really stopped.
This is Wootability. Definitely a jump design-wise. How are the message boards?
Legion of Legato has been around for about a year. Longer than a year. Almost 2 years. But the sister site, well, not quite sister site, but you have the idea. I mean, you guys know what I'm talking about. But, however, there was this other site, Wootability, owned by Padgoi, and that one has been around for 4 years. Longer than 4 years, actually. And it was a spin-off of GameFAQs. Originally, it was just a place that rated GameFAQs users when they posted in a topic back when Padgoi didn't know a lot of PHP. However, as the site started to progress, the spin-off thing kind of just went away. And it pretty much just launched into its new site, similar to Legion of Legato. I mean, if someone were to redirect you to Wootability, you probably wouldn't actually know what GameFAQs is unless you were to explore the site. If you were to just go into the message boards and start posting, well then, yeah, you're pretty much not going to know about it unless someone makes a topic about it.
Okay, now you know a little backlog of Wootability. How are the message boards? Well, let's give it a try. The message boards are made by Padgoi, and the site too. Unlike Legion of Legato, where the terms of use is very loose, Wootability is a little more strict, so Padgoi can make the site better. There was a lot more features of Wootability, like Woot strips, which was the only thing that they really used. There was a lot of submitted comics.
Now, there was a lot of stuff that the site had, Wootability, but there's also a lot of the stuff that the people didn't even use. I mean, oh yeah, it had a lot of stuff. It had a jukebox, it had a place where you can make your own website, although at the moment I can't remember what it was called. But either way, no one used them at all, ever. I think the Woot strips were the only things that were ever used. And that's what I'm talking about when I compare a Super Nintendo to a Sega Genesis. I mean, sure, the Super Nintendo has all those qualities, but doesn't mean they're going to be used properly. I mean, if no one uses them, then it's a Sega Genesis, pretty much. Just by a different company, of course. That's what I mean. That is what I mean. Now, was Wootability a lot more organized in Legion of Legato? Oh, without a doubt, but that's not my point. My point was that Legion of Legato didn't really complain about a lot, while Wootability had a lot more complaints about it. Like, usually the owner, Padgoi, would usually complain about how the users are not posting enough, the content that the users were posting. I want more regulars. I want a better site this. I want a better site that. Now, don't get me wrong. It's a lot better to do it that way, unlike Legion of Legato, where everything's just set out there because you're not going to get a lot of members. Because you want what's best for the users. And I can see that. But Padgoi kind of had it a little overboard. And that was the biggest problem of all. The site was a little bit too abusive with some things. It wasn't all that bad, but if you were to go on the site, you would kind of notice a few things about him complaining and stuff. And usually he wouldn't spend a lot of time on the site. He'd be trying to update stuff, despite that the people don't really use it anyway. I don't really understand that, but I don't know. I guess it'd be something that I would have to have a little bit of a better point of view of.
Now, Wootability and Legion of Legato were not just two different sites. They knew each other, they hated each other, and they invaded each other a lot. Here's an example.
Hi, I'm Wootability. I'm going to invade you. Oh! Oh! What should we do, LOLers? I don't know. Let's invade them back.
Padgoi.
What do you think they're gonna do now? I don't know. I hope they don't invade us. Ha ha ha! Mwah ha ha! We're going to invade you, Wootability. Ah! Oh! Bad guy, help! The users are invading us. Well, okay. Well, I'll try to. Okay. Help send the soldiers out, okay, MGS Master? Okay, that sounds like a good idea. I'll be on. I am not surprised by the behavior of you guys. Shame on you for invading my website. Well, you guys invaded us first. So, boo, you guys had it first. Well, yeah, I don't have any official participation in it. So why would I get blamed for some kind of event like this? You didn't get blamed. It was the whole site in general. We were crushed. And now, we invade again while you're online because we're stupid. Yeah, well, I'm gonna delete all the posts. So, ha ha ha, nice try.
Ah, you get the idea.
A lot of the times when a new user would come to Legion of Legato, Padgoi would PM them about Wootability to make them join Wootability, and would advertise Wootability in the posts that he made. And people hated him because of that kind of events. And yet he was still nice enough to offer a .com domain for $5, even though they rejected it.
Now, people have been probably wondering why
I have more posts on Legion of Legato, opposed of Wootability, which I have less. The reason I post less on Wootability is not because of the quality of the site. If anything, the quality is better than Legion of Legato. The only problem is the skin. A lot of the skins you choose from are pretty much bad on the forums. Even select the default skin, that one's ruined too. Now the homepage is fine, but Wootability has had a history of bad skins, and only the old Wootability users will know what I mean. The newer Wootability got, the better the skins were. But let me take you back to the old Wootability. Only the old users will remember this. Everything was white, lifeless, and dull. Mainly because Padgoi was getting a new twist on CSS, and was a beginner. This was the first skin of Wootability, right here. I have to say, there was a lot of users on the old Wootability. Ones that don't come here anymore. Now you're probably asking, what happens next? What's the next Wootability skin? Well, here it is. Now this skin came in after the Envision power boards were installed. And this skin was a major improvement compared to the other ones. It had a nice flashy intro. Now this skin, I can actually say, was good. But however, it made the site feel like a personal website, mainly because of the blog entries and the skin. And then there's this Wootability skin, which is clearly the best one the site's ever had.
Well, I showed you the Wootability skins, so I might as well be fair and show you the Legion of Legato skins. And well, at least the past
First
ones.
came the Envision Free default, which by the way was my favorite skin of LOL history. Then came this putrid gray skin, which was a disgrace to Legion of Legato. Then there was this blue skin, which was a little improvement over the other one, but still sucked. But I did like the logo.
So, a little bit of an analyzation. Wootability had a lot more work put into it, and as Padgoi progressed, the site did as well. A lot of stuff improved. I mean, the ratings that Padgoi had on Wootability were originally just in a topic, where it was like, oh, post in this topic, and I will rate you on the Wootability website. However, as he got better at PHP, he started making a script. He just made a script, and he had you post in it, and bam, he'd rate you eventually. And the skins got a lot better, and everything was increasing. Everything was getting a lot better. Users were posting, and everything was going great. Now, Legion of Legato, the skins were different. They weren't quite better. There was no really improvement in how the site ran. Pretty much, Legion of Legato was kind of a lazy website. Not much work put into it, except the posts. And I will say that Legion of Legato was pretty much problem-free, while Wootability had a few problems that they were going through, such as not enough posts, not enough users, not enough regulars, although I don't find a difference. But generally, whatever option of site you so desire to use, it's pretty much hands-on. they're pretty much the same thing, except ran by different people. You might like one better, you might like the other better. And I will say now, it's kind of a war. And I'm pojr, and that sums everything up. And yes, I got a haircut.